All right. Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon, everyone. Another weekly episode of TnT Knows It All Sports. I'm your host, Ty, and over to this side over there is my
What's
man's.
what's going on, everybody? Week 5.
Yep.
Can't wait to talk about week 4
Yeah.
on a spotlight game. Told
Yeah.
y'all.
Yeah. You did, man. Hey, man,
Mhm.
it was a good week four for both our squads. And yeah, we'll just get into it. So, agenda is nothing's changed this week in the agenda. We got our spot, we're gonna do a recap of week four, see how we did in our picks, talk about the spotlight game and our teams, which one of our teams is spotlight game, so it makes it easier. Then we're gonna preview week five, talk about what's gonna happen this week, and then then we'll focus on the spotlight game for week five. And then we'll do our TNT who drops some knowledge and then who basically is what are we doing? Or what Thomas likes to call the jackass of the week.
The dumbass. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
so yeah, let's get right into it. So yeah, week four, man. Let's get right into, usually we talk about our teams, but one of our teams was the spotlight game. So let's get right into the Bills Dolphins 48-20. An annihilation of the greatest show on grass. Remember we talked about that? Greatest show on grass. And both of us not only thought the Bills were going to win, but that they were going to cover because we couldn't believe that the line was that low. Um, but man, that was an annihilation. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, so I mean, I'll go first. I know you got tons to say on it. Yeah, I watched. I actually ended up watching the game after the full game because I wanted to make sure we got a chance to talk about it. It was impressive. Um, I thought the first quarter though was crazy. Like I'm like, man, this is gonna be a 50-50 game because they're going back scoring, scoring, scoring. But I thought the Bills did a really good job of adjusting to the Dolphins after the first two drives. We're stopping some of those plays over the middle. They're getting a lot of pressure. The timing routes, I thought those were done. I think they took a page of the Patriots book in there. Like, okay, Tua, like you said, now you have to be a quarterback. If that first read isn't there, what you gonna do next? And
Mm-hmm.
he didn't look so great. But really, the Bills' offense, man, that's how you beat a team whose defense is not very good. Just go out there and they did anything they wanted. They kept, I thought, there was a couple times where I was like, they're trying to get cute again, getting shotgun, but they actually continued to go back to being under center, which I thought was good. The good play action. Again, they're figuring it out. And I mean, this is 3 weeks in a row now that you play under center, you run the ball, you play action. You don't have to have five guys going outside and have Josh Allen run, and you max protect. You can't. It's almost impossible to stop him. You got great
Mm-hmm.
route runners out there. You got a guy's got a cannon. He can throw it right to your ear. Like these
Right.
teams are going to have much of a chance to stop him. So um, I was very impressed at what I saw. Sorry about Trayvon. I mean, Tre'Davious White. I mean, that just sucks
But
that he went down. Um, but yeah, it was a great, great win. I know you'll get more detail, but nice win by the Bills.
I mean, yeah. So let me start off with a few things. Number one, ESPN, let us know when you want to sign us up because I think our football knowledge is subpar.
Yeah.
It's not subpar. I'm sorry. Football knowledge is not subpar like the people you have on your station, right? Dan
Yep.
Orlowski is awesome. Everybody else
Yep.
probably sucks. But anyways, Ryan Clark's cool, but Ryan Clark says a lot of like what I say, like jargon and funny things, and sometimes X always kind of makes you scratch your head. And
Hmm.
uh, Marcus Spears sometimes sounds like he's on a yak. But let's go on. So last week that it's the Bills offense versus the Bill against the Dolphins defense. I mean that was a game, uh, and why that was important. So people were like, well, the Bills defense played great. Yeah, they played great, but the issue was is that when the Dolphins were getting scored on so much, they had to stop running the ball, and
Hmm.
the Bills just changed up their coverages. I mean,
Yeah.
after the 14-14 right score, it was 34-6. So that literally what the Bills scored,
Yeah.
and you could start seeing that. And by the way, here's a stat. They only had 30 yards rushing the first half. I mean, besides that 50-yard run
Yeah. It
by
was, yeah.
uh,
HN.
what if Anchen, whatever, he changes his name every week. So
Yeah.
Anchen, if you take that out, and then the Bills were playing two safety high, it wasn't. But what were they doing was confusing Tua, right? So
Yeah.
if you guys really want to know more X's and O's, I don't want to spend. We have short time. Watch the cover one how they break down the defense, but
Mm.
they were confusing Tua, and also the D line was. I mean, they were putting so much
Yeah.
pressure. Tua got sacked 4 times, and he got
Yeah.
pressure 7 times.
Right.
More sacks and pressures he has all year.
Yep.
So the defense played phenomenal.
Yeah.
Um, and but I really want to focus on offense because you know y'all look at I don't have more drinks in my system, but shut the hell up about Josh Allen. Can we shut up? Like
I know.
stop.
Yeah. I
You
know.
guys, oh, he's an average quarter. I got text message. He's an average quarterback. He's terrible. All that guys is week one. Week one. Best by far the best quarterback in NFL after week
Oh
one,
yeah.
right?
It's
And it's
not close.
statistically actually it's,
Yeah.
it's not even close.
No.
You're like, what about a Washington game? He didn't have to try. You got to remember, he didn't play the fourth quarter in 2 games. So actually, technically 3 games. He didn't play the fourth quarter in 3 games in a row. He like
Yeah.
literally
I know.
basically sat the fourth quarter, and he leads the NFL. I mean, take away Justin Fields yesterday, but he leads the NFL in touchdowns, right?
Hmm.
Going into week five, has one interception. Here's a stat for you, and I didn't even notice Dan Orlowski put it out. He's only had 6 missed throws in the last 3 games out of 97 throws. He actually has more touchdowns passing, or actually more touchdowns.
Yeah.
He actually passing too, and more touchdowns total than he
That
does
Mr.
miss passes. And when I say miss passes, it doesn't mean like throwing the ball, when you throw it away in the dirt and stuff like that. I'm talking about actual missed throws, not
Hmm.
incompletions, which
Yeah.
is ridiculous, right?
Right.
Um, and so he looked good, and everyone's gonna be like, "Well, what about it's the Raiders, the Commanders, and also
The
Dolphins
Dolphins.
defense." But I mean, the Commanders didn't make somebody didn't look good last week. We don't talk about it, but Mr. Hurts didn't look that great. So they look good, and Stephon Diggs looks good. And here's another thing that Dorsey is doing well with Buffalo, and I can go into so many different directions, but one thing that Ty pointed out, and I want to talk about this, and then one other thing, because the tape tells you everything, the score tells you everything, the box score tells you everything.
Hmm.
Josh Allen has a QBR of 98, and 100 is perfect under center,
Hmm.
and 98.
I know.
Right? So, and why is that important? Because when you're under center, right? Just give you guys a little just X and O's. You give your offensive line time to block because the defense doesn't know if you're gonna the defense just they don't know if you're gonna you're gonna hand the ball off. They don't know where the ball is because when you're shotgunning, while
You
everything's in
can
front of
see
you,
it.
the defense
Yep.
knows where the ball is, right? That's what Aaron
Yep.
Rodgers is famous for, hiding the ball in his hip, right? So the defense has to take a split second to adjust. So that gives your offensive lineman, that's why the offensive line is looking better, right? Deion Dawkins actually has one of the highest grades at left tackle. Spencer Brown's
Hmm.
doing better because you give your team time. Then when you run the ball, you add play action. What it does is that Diggs is such a good route runner, but it takes time for him to get in his routes. There's one throw that, if you remember, that throw he threw on, that was actually the first completion. He threw the ball before Diggs even broke into his
Hmm. Yeah.
into his route, right?
Right.
And that's what he did under center because you have some time, and he has such a damn bazooka as an arm.
Right.
He doesn't have to wait for the play to the route to be completed. He can throw the ball, and that's what play action, and that's
Yeah.
what under center does, right? And if he continues to do that, how can you stop him? I mean, it's going to be virtually impossible to stop him because now teams are like, okay, is he running? Is he going to do a bootleg play? Now you're confusing everybody and taking a second. You're freezing up the D line. So
Yep.
it's a scary motion in Buffalo. But the second part I do want to talk about, just not about Josh Allen how doing well, is that I mean I really think it's Leslie Frazier. Why the hell did McDermott take over the
I
defense
know,
two
I
years ago?
know.
It's literally, they actually have the same team, but maybe even worse technically a little bit if you take Jermaine out, right? They have
Yeah,
literally the same because Von Miller's hurt. Von Miller's
yeah,
out,
right,
right?
right,
Trey
right,
was
right,
out, so
right.
so so if you take that out, their defense, it just looks like they're just, just watch the film. They're playing faster. They're doing stunts. The D line. I mean, I have never seen their D line ever like this. I mean, they're
Yeah,
looking like the damn Eagles of last year with their D line
right.
with all the sacks they're having. So I'm just a little pissed at the Bills fan that what the hell did we fire Frazier 2 years ago? Or what? Everyone say he
Yeah,
dropped down, but he basically got fired, right? And the
yeah.
defensive line looks good. Oliver's having a career year. Daquan Jones, I mean, Jesus Christ,
I know.
seventh pressures, and he's a run stopper. He's a gap D tackle with seventh in pressures at D tackle.
No.
That's wild, right? Terrell Bernard and
He's
Matt Milano are in the
Pro
top
Bowlers.
five for
Yeah,
coverage. Yeah,
yeah,
top five for coverages for linebackers, both of them. Two out of five are on the Bills linebacker core, so looking good. Now Trey's hurt, and I wish Trey was there, but the Bills are used to playing without Trey for 2 years, right? So he's only
yeah,
played 11 games in two and a half years.
yeah,
It's a big thing because he's having a great year,
yeah.
but
He'll be
Kyrie
okay.
Elam.
Yep,
Yeah,
yeah.
they'll be okay. Kyrie
They,
Elam.
they said, you gotta step
I
up.
mean,
Yeah, it's your
yeah.
opportunity.
So, so
Haven't been able to dress. So hey, maybe they didn't even say he's guaranteed to dress this week, which is the funny part. So he's
yeah,
got,
yeah. So he's putting extra work in. They're looking good. Good for Buffalo. So that's all
yeah,
I'll say. There's so much more I want to say, but you know what? The scoreboard, 48-20. That's all I gotta say. That's
yeah.
all.
Hey, yeah. It's I
48 to
mean,
20.
yeah. I think he spent a lot of time with that game. It was a thorough behind whooping, but nice win for the
Yeah,
Bills, but like everything is 1 week. Just like everyone was saying that,
yeah, yeah.
the Dolphins are the greatest team, the Bills were the worst team after week one. I'm like, it's 1 week, 70 points against, it's just it's matchups is 1 week. Both thought the Bills were better than the Dolphins. I know it doesn't
Yeah.
mean anything till the end of the year, but it's clear they're not in the same category. Like we
Well,
thought at the beginning of the year.
yeah.
So,
The Commanders scored 35 points and the Bears scored 31 against Denver's defense. But I won't say
yes.
anything.
Yep.
Denver's have literally the worst defense in the NFL. But
Yes. By far they do.
right.
So yeah, and with my team really quick, so and then we can go over here and share what
Oh,
we
I
how we
got I
did.
got a comment about your team because
So yeah, we
I'm
played the
gonna go.
Patriots. We won 38-3. Gave Bill Belichick the worst loss in his coaching career. People have been downgrading it like, oh, it's not that big a deal. Look at this Patriots team. I'm like, well, isn't it the same Patriots team that the Dolphins before were the greatest team ever and they lost 24-17? And then the Eagles, who clearly everyone thinks is the best team in the NFC, also barely won. And then we demolished them and it doesn't mean anything. It's cool with me. Like, I'm cool.
Right.
It's again, like you said, ESPN and everyone, they're like, oh, what upset team has a chance this week? Oh, the Patriots. I'm like, what are these guys talking about? Do they watch these? Do they watch football? And I'm not saying that Dallas is that great. Dallas will lose games this year. I already said that. Like using Arizona, I told you guys like Arizona just matchups. The Patriots are not a team that's gonna beat Dallas. It's just not gonna happen. Sorry, you don't have speed. Like our speed is gonna overwhelm them, which is what happened. They couldn't move past midfield basically after the first quarter. It was an
Mm,
annihilation. Um, and we'll talk more about them. But anyway, that's it for them. I knew they were gonna win. Not a big deal. You know, and I don't know what you have
right.
to say about it. I don't even want to go next to those. I do want to see better red zone efficiency. I do think that a lot of people are talking about it, but they're also missing key elements. Like we had like stupid penalties in the red zone. Like it's just dumb, like bobbled snap. It's just little mental stuff. It's not like we don't have
Right.
playmakers out there. They just, I don't know. They just got to get their stuff together.
Well, I was gonna say, I mean, the defense scored a couple of touchdowns, right? Two touchdowns, and
Hmm.
Dak. I mean, I don't know. He's just not really good in the red zone. And what's pissing me off, I have two Cowboys on my fantasy team.
Yeah.
Pollard and CD Lamb. CD's doing well, but like, can you get the damn can Pollard get some damn runs in the red zone? My God,
Yeah, I
it's
know.
like you know what I mean. So,
I
I mean, but what I was gonna say is that Dak just got to Dak just got to be better in red zone for the long run. Especially, we'll see this game, right? It's
Yeah.
he's going to need to. I think he's rated what like the bottom five in red zone offense, Dak or something
Yeah. I
like that,
mean,
whatever.
I do think Reds. I mean, so he threw a pass a CD Lamb for a touchdown from the 22-yard line. Like, what are we talking about? Okay, it's not in the red zone. Are
Right.
we? Are we? Are we? I mean, we're being technical. So yes, it was outside the red zone, but it's 22-yard line. It's not like he threw it from like the 50. So it's just again, people are it's cute on stuff, and again, you know how I feel about Dak, anyways. But I think he's playing fine, and also they're not having as many opportunities. If your defense scores or your special team scores, then you're not going to have as many opportunities on offense. So they're getting dinged by the fact that the
Yeah.
defense scores and then they get back on the field again. So it's kind of like
But
I don't know,
it's just
it's
more
kind of weird.
for I know
Yeah,
I know what you mean. They were 1-4, but I'm just saying that's the one. That's the only thing.
yeah, yeah,
Dallas defense is great. It's just Dak just gotta you gotta put points up. That's all
yeah.
in the
That's
red
true.
zone.
That's true.
Or get the ball to Pollard. Or I mean, just do something. But
Yeah,
so
I think they'll be. I think this is. I'm liking. I'm happy at actually how the narrative is going. I think they'll be
yeah,
fine. Um. So yeah, let's. So last week, as a recap, let me know if you could see this, Thomas.
yep.
All right, last week, week four, I was 8-7, which is pretty garbage. I'm pretty terrible with my picks, and it's funny. I know the games lost to, and I felt like weird about them. But you were 12-3 with your game picks, man. 12-3. It's pretty good.
Mhm.
Um,
Shit, I was in Vegas, bro. Like I wouldn't do the
nah,
spread. I just do straight up bets. You know the parlays.
yeah. I know you're doing pretty good, man. And with the spread though, I did better because there might have been teams I picked, but I was like, oh, they won't cover. Like the Eagles. Like I knew for actually, it's funny. I of all the games, that was if we did locks of the week. Remember I said that. I was like, I was pretty positive that that was the only game I bet on. Straight up, I put straight up Washington was going to be able to cover. They were like 10-point underdogs. Like there's no way possible that's going to happen. It's a division game. The Eagles don't play the Commanders well. So anyway, I feel pretty good about that. So this season, your game picks are pretty good. We're pretty close on the spread, so we'll see how
Yeah.
that goes with this week.
Well, I mean, yeah, one of them should have. I mean, Patrick Mahomes. Come on, buddy, just go on
Yeah,
a
I
damn
know.
Arizona.
Yeah, I know. That was yeah, I was thinking that too. We both lost that one. All right, so that's a review of week four, and now we can get into week five. All right. And actually, the cool thing about week five is it starts off in London again. So,
The
oh, well,
pond.
yes, on the pond. Sorry, I forgot about the Thursday game. We were recording this on Friday. So the Thursday game actually did happen. It was the Commanders versus the Bears. The Bears won 40-20. Um, Justin Fields was out there looking like I don't know, like the Justin Fields people thought he would, even though it's very interesting that he threw for like 300 yards and
280,
or two,
287.
yeah, 280, sorry, 287. That's actually, thank you. That's actually helps my part more. And DJ Moore caught for 240. So
Yeah.
that's kind of crazy. One dude basically was doing all of it, but hey, it works. I mean,
Yeah.
Commanders, I don't know what the hell they're doing. They need a lot of work. 55
Mhm.
straight passes, not sure what's going on. So anyway, we spent our time with them. Congratulations, to Bears fans. I'm very happy that you guys got a win. And RIP to Dick Buckus because
Yeah.
he was
R.I.P.
he was great. So I think Dick Buckus was looking above, was like, we're gonna get a win today for him.
Right.
So happy for them. Anyway, all right. Now over to the pond. The Bills actually, after that great win, they get to go over and play Jacksonville. Technically, this is a Bills home game. And when you watch the game, because we got some people, some friends that are over there, it's probably gonna feel like a Bills home game because I heard
Rich
that.
Eisen said it was 10-1
Yeah,
odds. 10-1 like fans, but yeah, go ahead.
yeah, I heard. I mean, I heard is they're already taken over in London,
Yeah, yeah,
so which is great. But Jacksonville, though, they've been there for a week, so they didn't have to adjust. The Bills just got there on today, um, so I do think that helps them a little bit. So what are your thoughts, Thomas, quickly
yeah.
on this Bills Jags game? The line, by the
I
way,
mean,
is 5.5. The Bills are favored.
I was never a Jacksonville fan in the beginning. They don't. Trevor Lawrence has 4 touchdowns, 2 interception. I don't
Yeah.
want to hear about the line. I don't want to hear about. Somebody calls him the Prince that promised. You know who that is, like right.
Yes. Yeah.
Um, they just don't look good. They get Cam Robinson back, but he
Yep.
hasn't played. I mean, he hasn't played. And they put Little in guard, and it's a hard transition. People think it's easy. This ain't Madden where you can edit a player and move him. You
Hmm.
can't go from like tackle to guard, right?
Well, some can.
But the Bills,
Tyler Smith can. I'm just saying. Some people can. Like
yeah,
Tyler
true,
Smith's been doing pretty
yeah.
good for the Cowboys.
But Tyler Smith was a guard in college. I mean, he played guard and he played a guard in the beginning in
Mm.
camp. This dude has never
Okay,
played
okay,
guard
okay, okay.
before,
Well, that's true. I mean,
and he's 6'7".
oof.
Like I mean,
Yeah.
but he can probably do it. But Greg Rousseau will be playing in the game. So
Mm,
I like the Bills in this game. I mean, I get that Jacksonville's been there longer, but I just get momentum. They're just on a mission. That's ever since they lost that first game, they've been on a mission, and just Jacksonville offense does not look good. I mean, it's
mm,
just and Doug Peterson's there. They can't run the ball. ETN's averaging like 3.8 yards a carry.
mm.
They get Zay Jones. When people say, "Oh, I can't wait to get Zay Jones back," I mean, like that's what I'm looking
Yeah.
like. That's what they were saying online. Like, yeah, Zay Jones gonna make our offense so much better. Zay Jones, really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, they're talking like he's Julio Jones. So that's what I look at. And then on defense, Jacksonville safeties are, especially their strong safety, are suspect.
Mm,
And then Devin Lloyd is not going to be there, and the D line has not been doing a good job actually stopping the. Uh, I see the Bills
yeah.
winning with the spread. I think they're going to win like 20, 20. I think it's going to be actually a low scoring game, like 24 to like 13. That's my prediction.
Interesting. Um, so actually it's funny you say that because the line opened as a 46 and a half over and under and is up to 48 and a half. Because I actually
Really?
think because I think it's going to be
You
higher
think?
scoring than that too. Than you do. I think you're minimizing because I was like, yo, what is wrong with the Jags? Because I know you didn't like them, but I'm like, then I realized it. I didn't realize that Cam Robinson was out until I found that I was doing research on this game. Oh, he's back. That makes sense. He started 65 straight games for a left tackle. And now you put somebody else
Wait,
back there and they look low. I
uh,
mean, they look terrible. Like they're not
oh, little?
covering. They don't look very good. They can't run the ball. They're
Uh,
not that's part of it. They
okay.
cannot run. So I do think it's going to help them. Does that mean they're going to win? No, but I actually do think their offense is going to look better. I mean, I know as a Dallas fan, I know when we don't have our stalwart left tackle, you can put somebody else back there. It's going to be difficult. Um,
Okay.
I do think the Bills are going to win. I think it's going to be a pretty good game, though. I kind of see it 20, 27-21 or something like that, or 27,
So spread?
24.
Okay.
Something like that, or 27-23. Um, you know what's gonna remind me of? Do you remember that game last year where the Bills played the Lions?
Oh yeah, and yeah, when they went to go to Detroit.
Yes.
I'm sorry,
I
yeah, Detroit,
Yep.
yeah,
It
yeah.
was in Detroit. I think it's gonna be very similar to that game, where the Bills won, but it was like the line, it was
Right.
the Bills were playing well too, and the Lions were. I kind of see it being like that, but I do think the Bills will come up with the win, but I think it's gonna be close. The line, so it's tough. 5.5. I wouldn't touch it.
Right.
I'll say the Bills are going to cover just 'cause I guess I could see 27-21, but if they don't, I wouldn't be surprised either. I think it's going to be
Right.
a one score game. All right. Next game. Um, Houston at Atlanta. The line is 1.5. The Falcons are favored
Yeah.
right now. So who do you got? It's in
Doesn't
Atlanta.
I'm going to get Atlanta, but Desmond Ritter might be the worst quarterback in NFL. I mean, he's just so. But I'm
Hmm.
going to go with Atlanta. They're tough at home.
Hmm.
So they actually are 2-0 at home, or actually 2-1. I'm sorry, at home. Because they have three. This is their like fourth home game. They played so many damn home games already in the beginning of the year, so they have to win.
This is their third.
Uh,
Wait, their fourth? Wait, they played Carolina,
Carolina, Green Bay,
Green Bay.
Jacksonville.
No, Jacksonville. That
Technically,
was that was that was
that's tech.
Jacksonville's home game. That was Jacksonville's home game
Oh, was
in
it?
in London. Yeah, of
Oh,
course,
okay.
Yeah, Jackson. Of course, Jacksonville always has home games in London. They always have
Oh, I
that
thought I
one.
thought they were again. So it's 30. Okay, so it's third
Yeah,
home game.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because
So
I thought there was technically a 30 game from London, but they're coming back. I would say I'm going with even Houston looks good. So the CJ Stroud looks really good.
Hmm.
I just it's one of those games I just see it being, and I'm going to go to spreads 1.5, which seems it's one of those games that are going to be like I don't know 24-20 or 21. So
Yeah, I'm gonna go Houston.
okay.
Um, I remember last week uh, I didn't feel good not going with Houston against Pittsburgh. Like I kind of, it was killing
Yeah,
me. I should have.
Pittsburgh's
Clearly, I mean, watching Pittsburgh's problems, but Houston's been playing well. So I'm not, I think Houston's issue is stopping the run if they have an issue. So that's going to be a problem. And Atlanta's actually pretty decent against the pass. So it will Houston be able to adjust? I think they will, though. I think they'll come in and know that they got to stop the run. Like that's it. What they did that against Pittsburgh because they knew basically if we got them into throwing, like Pickett, like Ritter,
well, their
um,
offense looks terrible.
yeah, Pittsburgh,
Really.
oof, it's bad. So I'm gonna go Houston. Definitely with the points too. All right, Detroit is at. I mean, sorry, Carolina is at Detroit,
I'm not
and
even waste my time. Yeah,
yeah,
I'm going Detroit, and this
and
the spread.
it's
I'm
nine and a
going
half.
yeah, I'll go with Panthers on the spread. I don't think bullshit touchdown to end, but
Yeah.
but
Yeah, I mean Lions. I got Lions winning
it's
too.
9.5 is so damn hard.
It is, and what's weird about this game? One, I don't think Amon-Ra is going to be playing, um, which I do think that hurts them, and also Detroit. They're if Carolina has to throw the ball, they're done. Like not because I
Yeah,
think because I mean I don't think, but I remember last year. I know it was last year, and it's different teams, but man, Carolina ran all over them.
yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
That was crazy. So I kind of feel like you. I do think the Lions are going to win, but it'll be like 23-14 or something like that,
Hmm.
which is not 9.5. So no cover there for both of us on that. All right. Ooh, this game. Intriguing
Tough.
game. Titans, Colts. Ooh,
Mm,
this is a tough one. You called the Rams. I had the Colts. That was a tough one last week. It went overtime, you
mm.
know. Um, I don't know about this one.
Yeah, I'm going to go to Titans because I think the Titans see opportunity to especially if the Jags lose. Oof,
Mm,
so that I'll go Titans in the spread. I watched like last week. The Colts are good. Anthony Richardson,
hmm
he's good. I like him. He's one of my players, but it's passing wise, the Titans do a good job of designing their defense. Plus, they can't. The Colts' run defense is not doing well. So Derrick Henry does
Yeah,
that's going to do what they have to do last week. Just
yeah.
run the ball with him and get the ball out of Tannehill's hands.
So weirdly enough, I now think I figured out the Titans after last week, and I did pick them to cover, I think, but I didn't think they were gonna win, something like that. The Titans on the road suck. Home, good. This is a road game. Colts.
You got
That's
Colts? Okay.
yeah, that's kind of how I see it. Even though Titans always play the Colts well, they've beaten them with like 10 out of the last 11 times or something like that.
Right.
Um, but
Jonathan Taylor ain't playing, right?
nope, he's playing.
Oh, yes.
Yep, he's
Zach
playing.
Moss been looking good, actually. Oh,
I
yeah.
know it's gonna be interesting. I was thinking that too. It's gonna be interesting, but now he's gonna play. So I'm gonna go Colts. Clearly, my picks haven't been that great, and yours have been good. So listen to Thomas.
I got Titans.
Yeah,
I was really close to picking the Colts, but I just think the Titans they're
yeah,
0-2 away, and
yeah.
here it is. Both teams
Definitely.
are 0-2, by the way, at way and home. So
Yeah,
this next game, we're gonna waste time on it, but go ahead.
yeah, man. I know Giants, Dolphins. I
They
mean,
might, they might get blown out the gym.
yeah. I think it's gonna be. It's like weird. Here's the weird thing about this game. This is why this is a weird game. Not because I think the Giants are good, but I actually don't think the Giants defense is that bad. Like
No,
if
it's
you
not.
watch the game Monday night, it wasn't the defense's fault. The defense actually played pretty good. Just the
Mhm.
offense is just terrible. And
He,
I think Saquon is coming back.
What about Andrew Thomas coming back too, right? Or he's still hurt?
I think he might be. Now that's really the key, right? You need, I mean, the key is they need an offensive line because that offensive line, I mean, 11 sacks was Monday night. I mean, that was just, I mean,
Right.
wow, wow. Um, but of course the Dolphins are going to win. So I mean, I don't think that that's a question. But the spread to me, I wouldn't touch the game. I personally wouldn't touch the game. But I do think that I think the Dolphins would probably cover. But I think the over, I would go with the over. I think it's gonna be like 27-20. I mean 37. It could be like 37-24, which is like
Right.
close. I mean, because the Dolphins defense isn't that great still. I still they didn't prove anything to me. Because even the 70-point game, they gave it 20 something points. So,
Right.
um, but um, I wouldn't be
So
surprised if the Giants, if their line played well, that they actually kept this game close for a while and then end up losing late because they're just not.
well,
But
also, Armstead, Mr. Glass, is an IR
he's out.
now.
Yeah, he's
And
out.
I don't know if Connor Williams, he's probably going to play, but they that I mean, whoever that I
Hmm.
forgot his center was, a Notre Dame guy, Mitch or whatever his name was,
Hmm.
he absolutely like horrendous. So if the Giants could the issues that the Giants, as you saw the Bills, the Giants linebackers are not going to be able to cover the middle like that. That's the
No,
problem.
no.
So that's why they're gonna.
Yeah.
And can they? I mean, they can. They're probably be able to put points up. I wish they watched Blueprint. Kohu is terrible. I mean, maybe I know it's against Diggs, but he didn't even look that good against any of the
Yeah, it
receivers.
was really bad.
But the problem is Giants have no receivers.
Yeah,
So,
I know. I know.
if you guys and Paris Campbell to go out there and start balling,
Yeah,
that's
I know.
they so.
And
But
Isaiah Hodgins.
yeah, I know. So I'm going with the Dolphins, and I'm going with the spread. I think they're just going to just prove the world that they're the greatest show on turf again.
Yeah, I agree. All right. All right. So the next game,
I hate
Saints.
this game
I know Saints
because
Patriots. I hate this game too. Like
it's
I've
even spread too. By the way,
yeah. It started off the Patriots were 1 point favorite. Now it's even. It's been fluctuating all week. It makes sense. I don't like this game at all. Saints, ish the bed. Their offense looks terrible.
it's because both defenses are good.
Yeah.
Both defenses are good, and both offenses are terrible. So
But man, losing Judon and Gonzalez, whew,
yeah, they
I
got
think it's
J.C.
gonna.
Jackson.
They do
I
have
don't know.
JC Jackson, which is interesting. I mean, I think he'll do fine there. I mean, he knows their system.
Yeah,
But I'm going to. It's weird. I'm actually going to go with the Saints.
me too. I'm a,
I think I'm gonna go with the Saints. It's a tough one, but I kind of just. I mean, Saints got to win. If the Saints are who I thought they were, they got to win this game. When it was a road game, it's going to be a tough game. It's going to be a 1 point game, maybe. I mean, I
hmm
think that's why spread is right. It's probably a 1 point game, but they got to win. Stop
yeah.
Mac. Play. Make sure your defense shows up and put up enough points. 14-13. Get the win. You know.
I'm going with the Saints too. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Next big AFC North rivalry: the Ravens at Steelers. This is
Mhm.
you throw the records away and how people look, man. These teams play each other. It's just great. And here's a stat for you, Thomas. I don't know if you knew this. Maybe you did because I'm sure you've watched. Do you know Lamar Jackson only has one win against the Steelers in his career?
Yeah.
You saw
Yeah.
that?
Yep.
One win,
hmm
which I'm still shocked at. I mean, this guy is, I mean,
Like Burrow against the Browns, man. They got the kryptonite. So
so it's like no matter how, I would say no matter what, Lamar Mac Jackson's got great regular season record. Like one of the, I think it's like top three in the league since he's been in the league. But to only have one win, that's kind of alarming.
and he hasn't. He knows never beat the Steelers in
In Pittsburgh,
Pittsburgh
right?
ever. Like I mean, so
So they're 4 point favorite, which makes sense. They start off at two, actually went up to four.
the Steelers is just. Oh
I
my
know.
God. Najee Harris looks so terrible. Lamar Jackson has no wide receivers, which is interesting, right? Like, I mean, he has his. Remember all the money he spent on wide
I know.
receivers? That is, his wide receivers are not good. Odell's terrible.
Well, he just
Ba-
finally coming back. He's been gone for the last 2 weeks, so
but he's
he
still
actually coming back this
terrible.
way.
The
He is
first two
terrible.
games, I'm just
Yeah,
letting
he
you know,
is.
like Rashard Bateman. I mean,
Mm.
I forgot he was ever on a team. If it wasn't for
Zay
Flowers, I mean,
Flowers, yeah.
and then Mark Andrews might not play, right? He's hurt. Is he
Yeah, I'm
playing?
not sure. I don't know if he's
Uh,
playing or not. I think he is. I think they said the Ravens are. I mean, they've been really, really hurt, but they're actually. This is like the healthiest they've been in the last 3 weeks. They said they're actually getting people
yeah,
to
Mark
come back.
Andrews was. Let me see, because Ronnie Staley, he's been hurt for the last 4 years, but
Hmm.
yeah, they have some people out. Marlon Humphreys is yeah, so actually he's playing. He is playing. So,
Yeah.
whew, I don't
Ah,
know.
so I don't know. That's a tough one. I've been racking. I was looking at the line and I was like, I don't like this game. I think we'll put it like this. I'm taking the Steelers with the spread for sure
Yeah, me
because I
too.
think that the, it's that kind of game.
Yeah,
Do,
I'm gonna.
but do I think that they're gonna win? I keep going back to that Monday night game where they beat the Browns. Do you think that can happen twice? Because if you do, then you would pick the Steelers. Because to me, the Browns are a better team than the Steelers, but they got two defensive touchdowns, turnovers at the opportune time, and they still barely won, right? I
But
think they're
yeah,
going to need that to happen to beat the Ravens.
but they got embarrassed by a rookie quarterback, a
Right.
rookie coach, and my use of my town. I ain't seen him that fired up in a while.
And they always
Uh,
come back the next week. They showed his record after losing by 20 plus points or something. The next week, he's like, I guess it's happened more times than not. I think he's like 17-4 or something like that, or 17-3, something crazy.
Yeah, and
And
I'm not really impressed with the Ravens either. I mean, they played the
yeah.
Titans, they lost to the Colts, they lost to
You're playing
a
backup in the Browns because
yeah,
I picked the Browns. I didn't know that Deshaun, by the
yeah,
way. So I feel like there should
well,
be an
there's a lot,
asterisk
yeah,
there. There should be an
yeah,
asterisk there. I didn't know that Deshaun was going to play. I was like, man, you cost me a game when.
there's a lot of interesting drama behind that. But yeah, I'm gonna go with the Steelers and the spread. I'm just gonna go. I think this is gonna be you got to pick a couple upsets. I'm gonna
Yeah,
have two upsets. That's one of them. The other one's gonna be interesting.
yeah,
So.
yeah. Gosh, yeah. I'm gonna go Ravens, but I don't think they're gonna cover. So it's going to be like last week where I probably picked the wrong thing, but I was right on the spread because I like to do that. I'm gonna go Ravens, but I don't think they'll cover. I think the Ravens know that they have a chance now. Like this is their
Mhm.
chance to separate. Cincinnati's trash. Cleveland, they just beat Cleveland. That means they will have all their AFC North games, all three of them on the road, and they could be 3-0 in the AFC North and had played all three on the road in the first 5 weeks of the season. This is
Mhm.
like huge for them. They win this. I'm not saying it's over, but it's pretty close to over in the
Yeah, Kenny
division.
Pickett needs looking
Yeah.
good. But
Yeah. All right. We're now at the 4 o'clock games. We got the Eagles at the Rams. 4-point spread Eagles right now.
that's that over under. I would. That's like
Yeah.
those are ones in Vegas you want to take the under. Sometimes it's too damn high, but
Yeah.
who
It
knows?
was 46.5 at start of. It went
I
all the way to
know
50.5.
because the Eagles
Um,
secondary is absolutely horrendous. I
yeah.
mean,
Yeah. I
Cooper
think
Cup might come back.
they say he's definitely gonna play. I think they said he's
Uh,
gonna play. I,
oof.
I don't know. I don't like the Eagles, of course, for many reasons. They're not looking that great, but they find ways to win. They're finding
Yep.
ways to win. But I will say they're finding ways to beat teams that don't have a Matt Stafford. So this is gonna be to me. And if Matt Stafford was 100%, I would feel comfortable picking. I would actually feel comfortable picking Rams, but he's playing with that hip contusion. And they're like, you saw him. I mean, he finished the game last week, but he was hobbled. He was like limping around the field. I don't know. You play that Eagles D line, even though their secondary is terrible. I think they get to him enough. I'm gonna go Eagles to win. But I don't know about Carr. I think they win on the last second field goal, like that Cardinals game they had last year. Remember that game, the Cardinals? The Cardinals
Yeah.
showed up and had them, and then they figured out a way to win like 2017. I don't think
Mm.
it'll be 2017. I think it'll be like 27-24. Um,
Yeah. I'm
yeah,
going to go Eagles in the spread. Just you said enough. Uh, we'll see. I mean, I think they got to get a get right games because they've been playing people too close the last couple of games. So,
yeah. All right, Bengals.
oh
Bengals Cardinals. I know. Oh, there's some like terrible. It's not so some terrible games. Um,
yeah.
I'm. I know.
Bengals lose this game. Shoo.
Yeah, I'll
Go
let you
ahead.
go. I got a good take on this. I'll let you go. What do you think? Who do you think you got? That's a 3 points spread for
I
the
mean,
Bengals.
if the Bengals lose this, you might as well shut down Joe Burrow for the rest of the year. I mean, George, or for a while.
Hmm.
Um, oof, this is just the Bengals are haven't won a road game. Last week they got absolutely demolished.
Hmm.
T. Higgins might not play. Jamar Chase is over here talking about I'm always open.
Yeah.
So I think the Cardinals are gonna win. I don't give them
Mm,
spread. It's gonna get Cardinals.
okay.
I'm just not sold on Bengals, man. I'm just not
I
sold.
I agree with you on not being sold with the Bengals. However, I'm gonna go with Bengals, and here's why. This is a stat for you. Basically teams that played the week after playing the 49ers are 1-20.
Uh,
That's a
well, it's
stat.
gonna be
I forgot about
yeah,
that. And the one was the Steelers, that Monday night game. And so they actually got an extra day off, which is what helped them. The
yeah.
Niners beat the crap out of you, and it's hard to play. And it's already the Cardinals. And so I actually think it's going to hurt them later in that game. Because I think if they would have played anybody else the week before, but I kind of like that stat for them, and I think the Bengals got to win, and
Hmm.
they haven't showed me enough, but um, I think they're gonna win the game, and I actually think they'll cover. I think it'll be still be close, 24-20, but I think they'll cover.
Hmm.
Jets Broncos. Jets
I mean,
are 2.5 point
yeah,
underdogs.
yeah. I'm going Broncos. Zach Wilson's not that. I mean, just one game. Who cares? He's still the worst quarterback, starting quarterback in the NFL. Uh, and then I think the Broncos by cutting Gregory, and I don't see them being 0-3. I forgot there has some stat that Broncos have never started 0-3 and got whatever record years they were
Mm,
talking about. Uh, but yeah, I mean, just look like they're just falling apart mentally. You got the coach, irate on the sideline.
yeah,
Zach Wilson, I don't know if he can string 2 games in a row. Just I got the Broncos and the spread.
I got the Jets, and
We're
I
getting a lot
think
of opposite games. Good
yeah,
today.
I know. I know. Definitely it's gonna be, you know, I'll either be closing the gap or being way away from you on these
Yeah.
picks. But no, I got the Jets. One, I never hated Zach Wilson. I think there wasn't a coincidence that he started looking better when they again started calling different types of plays. What they were doing the first few weeks, run the ball first down, run the ball second down, third and long, have Zach Wilson out there to pass. That was just dumb. That's just you can't do that in this modern day football. You have to switch things up. So they did
Right.
last week, even against a good team. And what happened? He looked good. He threw the ball on first down. They maybe ran first, threw it on second or third, ran it on second and third. Like they were
Right.
switching it up, and he looked great because he can make the throws. It's not like he can't throw the ball. You just don't want him
Right.
in
Right.
obvious third and long, which is the hardest things for any quarterbacks, let alone somebody like him who already
But he
doesn't
can't.
trust
But he
his
can't.
eyes. He doesn't trust his
But
eyes.
he
He
can't.
can make the throw, but he doesn't trust it. So,
Yeah, he's terrible. But yeah, I got you. He's talented. I said he's got
yes,
talent, but
he's talented.
but the problem is that
He's
but
talented.
Nathaniel Hackett doesn't have a. I don't know. He just doesn't. We'll see. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a revenge game for Nathaniel Hackett, but
Yep.
Sean Payton. I mean, it's gonna be funny.
I just think
But
I also, to me, I do think the Broncos offense is better than the Jets offense, but I know for sure the Jets defense is better than the Broncos defense. And
Mhm.
do I think the Broncos offense is good enough to expose the Jets defense? The answer is no. They're
Mhm.
not. You're not putting up a ton of points on the Jets defense. They're just not. Like,
That's why I'll take the under in that game.
oh,
43 and a half,
facts.
boy.
43 and a half. I saw it. I was like, man, this is crazy. It actually went up. It was 40 and it went up 3.5 points. So maybe somebody they know
Well, I'll be
something
in
I don't know.
Vegas. I'll be in Vegas betting on that game. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean 2017. I mean, I don't understand how I don't know, but maybe again, maybe we don't know stuff, but we'll see. All right. Last game of the night of the four, I mean, so of the 425 games is the Chiefs at the Vikings. 3.5 point spread. It's a tricky, tricky game, this one. To me,
Hmm.
it's a tricky game. You got go ahead. I'll let you go before I make
Well,
my thoughts.
so I've actually thought of this game pretty well, right? So
Hmm.
here's let's take the Bears game out.
Hmm.
They lost to Detroit 31-20. They beat the Jaguars 17-9, and they won. They barely won last week 23-20.
Yep.
Chiefs offense does not look good. Their defense looks good, but their offense does not look good. Vikings defense actually doesn't look that bad or terrible, but
Yeah.
um, it's going to be weird. But I'm going with the Vikings in the spread,
Mm.
and they're in and because the Vikings cannot like the Chiefs can. I want to say afford to lose because the Chiefs Vikings start 1-4 in in there, and you got Tampa, you got all these other teams. Are actually going up. They're going to be in a whole. They're in kind of like crisis mode, right? When you play in
Yeah.
crisis mode, and so and who judges? I'm telling you right now, whoever has Justin Jefferson in his fantasy, he's going to torch that defense. I'm
Yeah.
just going to just tell you.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go with that's my upset of the week. Upset alert. They have upset alert. I think that's
Yeah.
going to be the upset of the week. My opinion.
Yeah. It's hard for me. Like well, I agree with you for sure that I would take the Vikings to cover. I have a friend that's going. She's a Chiefs fan, and she's actually going to the game. The Vikings. Hope she has a good time. If she's watching. Um, but I'm kind of with you. Like, I don't trust the Vikings. I just don't trust them. If I could trust that they wouldn't have a stupid turnover, like Kirk Cousins was a little pick six like he did against the Panthers to make that game way closer than it should have been. I think they would win. But I'm getting this Staley vibe from the the Vikings.
Oh, count. Yeah.
And it's not that he's a bad coach, it's just remember I said before the year, I think it's a law of averages. I actually think the Vikings, because I picked them to make the playoffs. I actually think after this week, they go on this like tear. It could start this week. It could.
Oof. Yeah, they got that. Yeah.
They got a tough schedule. I don't think the Vikings are bad. They're not a bad team. Even all their
No,
games
no.
they lost. I think
I
it's
just
just
don't.
averages. They can't keep losing all these close games, right? Like they can't keep losing these close games. Got to win some. They won
Yeah.
all of them last year. They didn't lose one game that was close, not one. And so this year
Yeah.
they haven't won a game, not one. So
Right.
it's got to balance out.
But the Chiefs' offense is not. I mean,
Yeah,
remember the guy we talked about? We didn't. Did we talk about it? I think we talked about it on the podcast when they
I
paid
think so.
Juwan Taylor all that money. He has the most
Yeah,
penalties in NFL.
have no idea what they were thinking when they made that move.
And
I'm like,
they,
why did you sign this guy? I'm like, he wasn't nice at Jacksonville. Like, what are you doing? Well, now
yeah,
they've had to bench him in 2 games.
right.
They're like,
And
look, you got to come out the game, dog. Like, we
right,
can't. That's terrible. You just paid all that money for him, and you can't
right.
trust him. But I'll tell you what, they are running the dang ball, and that's why
Yes.
I'm going to pick the Chiefs to win because I think the Vikings are going to figure out a way to blow it. But I am going to pick the Vikings to cover.
Hmm.
So now I could be wrong. Let's say they don't turn the ball over. I like the Vikings' chances. They don't turn the ball over. I think they'll be able to move the ball. They're going to put up points. I think their defense is going to put pressure. But it's Patty. So all right, last game before the highlight game is the Monday night game, and that's the Packers. Um, Raiders. It's 1.5 point favorites. The Raiders are. They're at home. Ugh,
Yeah,
that's a disgusting game. Um,
yeah. I'm just on a whim going with the Packers because I don't care about this game enough.
yeah, I agree. And I mean, uh, if the Packers don't have their three offensive linemen, which they didn't have last week, I see Max Crosby having a field day. Um, so I will go with the Raiders. Because also Jimmy G's come back, even though O'Connell didn't look too terrible. He just got sacked 8 times, which it wasn't even like he was holding the ball. He was just getting sacked. But I'm gonna go with the Raiders actually to win and covers 1.5. I mean, I don't, well, actually, I don't even know how comfortable I feel. Like, actually, no. Weirdly enough, 1.5. I don't even think they'll cover. 1 point win. 1 point win for them. Um. All right. Finally, what we all came for. No, joking. The spotlight game of the week. We have the Dallas Cowboys 3-1 against the San Francisco 49ers 4-0. It's Sunday night game, 8:20. Um, I don't know. I'll let you get your thoughts and I'll give
Yeah,
mine. I can have a whole bunch of time, but I won't spend that much time. But go ahead. What are your thoughts on this game?
I mean, for me the obvious is San Fran offense versus Dallas defense. That's the game, right? So that's going to be the game. Um, I hate to say it because I like his story, but I'm not a fan of Brock Purdy. I mean, everyone can. He just,
Mm,
I'm not a fan. He throws 5 yard passes that turn to yak. Like it reminds me of Oregon Mariota days, right? Like he
mm,
just throws the ball like 5, 6 yards and they get 70-yard touchdowns. But this is here's the two. Here are the three keys.
mm,
Dallas doesn't need a blitz to put pressure. Um, and San Fran, if you check Trent Williams, their interior offensive line is not that good.
nope.
They right. So Ty, I'll let you know. I'll tell you. You could tell who they played. I mean, let's go down a
Yeah.
list of who San Fran played. They're blowing teams out. I'm not
Yeah.
taking anything away from them, but you know,
Right,
who
right.
that team?
Steelers, Rams, Cardinals,
Cardinals.
and who's the other
Uh,
team they beat? I don't even remember.
oh my God, how did I just forget that? But you can look it up. It was not who was it? Steelers. You can look it up. Is it not Seattle? Anyway, so interior, right? So if Dallas stops the run
Oh,
with Christian
Giants,
McCaffrey,
Giants, Giants,
okay,
Giants.
Giants. That's yeah. They blew. Yep. So if Dallas stops the run with Christian McCaffrey and make Brock Purdy actually a passing quarterback, stop the little dunk and dunks. Ayuk is good, but you stop those, you do well. You that's the ball game because you don't want Dak to do too much or the offense, right? Run the ball. They're not going to win a shootout. They got to run. They got to win like a 24-17 type of 20 game, right? Um, and so the key to the game. It sounds obvious, but to me, is this Dallas defense. If you stop the run and make Brock Purdy start being past the ball, you win the game. On the other side, it's if San Fran can run the ball and actually keep Dallas's offense off the. I think Dallas's offense is going to do well. So I have a feeling that they're going to do well. Just my opinion. San Fran defense is good, but again, what quarterbacks they played? I can go down the list of stuff. Look at that Rams
Rams
game.
game, yep.
Matthew Stafford had almost 300. He had 300 yards in that game.
Yeah.
So he passed, and that's what me and you a wide receiver. I mean,
Right. Yeah.
and I get it's a rivalry game and blah 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 and all that stuff, but they played
Mm,
well in the first half. They kept it competitive. The Rams game in the first half, right?
mm,
So that's good. I think San Fran is great, but they just I'm not a sold on Brock Purdy. I mean,
yeah.
I'm just not sold. But I'll let you go.
Yeah. So I respect Brock Purdy. I actually don't think he's terrible. I think he does his job well. I think they actually try to use him more for stuff than let's say like they're doing like Dallas is doing lately. Because they actually do throw the ball down the field a little bit.
Yeah.
Um, but I will say this about this game. Like I said, so this has been 4 weeks. I've been waiting. I didn't care. I don't care if Dallas went 0-4 in the first 4 weeks, personally. I
Right.
don't care. It's about this game. I got the old school Aikman on. Like we went in the candlestick and got this win. Fellas, you gotta get in there and get this win. And I'm loving what I'm seeing on TV with everybody. Like, hey, Dallas is just not as good as San Francisco. They're just not as good. I'm like, okay. Um, I'm loving it because I need these guys to see this because honestly, and I'm not just saying this as a homer, I think that we are as good. And we're gonna show it this week. I very actually pretty confident that Dallas is gonna win this game. And here's why they're gonna win. One, people forget what Dallas did last year to San Francisco's vaunted offense, where their offensive line was better too. Everybody was healthy. They were looking great. McCaffrey had 35 yards rushing. 35.
Right.
Okay. 35 yards rushing. They had 19 points and they got 10 of those off of Dallas turnovers, right?
Right.
And here's the thing that why Dallas is going to be different is the thing that people are criticizing Dallas's offense for is what they've been preparing for this week. You need to be able to switch up the way you play, you make plays. It's not just the plays, it's the way you call plays. And I'm
Yeah.
liking how Dallas is calling plays. They're not as predictable. I know my team. I watch them now, and they're not predictable. I don't know if they're going to run or pass. And I could tell you for the last 10 years, when just looking at the formation and what they're going to do, what Dallas was going to do. They are not doing that now. Nobody's talking about that. And they're preparing for this. So, no, Dallas is not throwing the ball down the field when they're up by 20. But they're going to throw
Right.
the ball down the field this game. Watch. And it's
Oh,
going to be great because it's not on film. And you know what? Arizona was exposing those corners out there. And the other part that people have been not talking about, which is very interesting, because I'm like, you guys are supposed to know football. Dallas is they lost the Cardinals game. They were down three offensive linemen. They got two of their offensive linemen back this week. They destroy people. They're gonna have Tyron Smith. He said he's gonna play. We're gonna be fully healthy on our offensive line.
thank God, because I need Pollard to do well. Like,
You give us time, I think they're gonna do well. And it's funny. I actually feel pretty confident in our defense. I don't think we're gonna stop them. They're not gonna, we're not gonna hold them to, 10 points. But I don't see them scoring more than 20.
yeah, that's why. Yeah, 20. That's why I
I
said
don't
too.
see it.
Yeah.
And I think we're gonna score more than 20. I think Dallas is gonna win 24-20. And I think it's gonna be kind of not to say easy, but I mean, I think we're gonna move the ball. Dak's not gonna have to take chances. We're not gonna call plays where he has to go out and there's like five wides all the time. We're going to call a smarter game plan, and you will see now that what I have seen this year and why I felt very confident in Dallas in the beginning, and it is that our offense actually is the problem that everyone thinks our offense is going to be the reason why we win because we'll be able to control the ball and not get those guys out there the entire game.
Right.
We're playing fast and we're stopping the run and their gap discipline. The best thing that's happened to Dallas was the Arizona game because they were running all over the field and they had no discipline. Last week, they were Dallas again. Aggressive but disciplined.
Yeah. Get right
Perfect.
game.
Perfect. So this week, it's all it's about. All it's about is gap discipline against the 49ers. Figure out where McCaffrey is. Do not just overflow when they do their play action because they do it all day, right? Understand your gaps and you'll be good. I think we'll be good. So, um, I, I, I
Yeah.
I think we're like, I think we both said both parts. You said the key is Dallas's defense versus the 49ers offense. I feel pretty confident in that, even though our cornerback play there's going to be plays. I think if Trayvon Diggs was there, I would be guaranteed I'd pick this game. It wouldn't even be close. I don't think they would do anything because I know we're going to give up a couple plays. I just have a feeling we're going to give up a couple plays. I think that's why they're even going to score as many points as they will score. Um, but I actually do think it's the other side. I think it's our ability to not turn the ball over and to call a smart game and not have to press against them is going to be the reason why Dallas wins this
Well,
game.
yeah. Mike McCarthy got to come out of the bag.
Yeah.
This is a game.
Yeah. Yep. We don't why show all your good stuff when you're already destroying people and scoring defensive touchdowns every week? Well, for what? Why?
Right.
It's coming out this week. I can't wait to see it. It's coming out. Dak's gonna play well. Not, Super Bowl amazing Dak, but he'll throw for 240 yards, two touchdowns, no interceptions. And he won't even have any, it won't even be like close ones because we won't call anything like that. That's what I see in this game. Now, if that doesn't happen next week, you're gonna see a very upset me because that means Dak will have to like, yo, I'm gonna try to forget what this play's called. I'm gonna try to do something crazy, but I don't
Right.
think he's gonna do that. I really
Right.
don't. It's regular season. Playoffs, we'll have a different discussion about it. So, anyways, I don't know who you picked, but I picked Dallas.
I picked Dallas with and the spread, of course.
Yes. So we both picked the Cowboys. So
I
just like
just, I mean,
I'm looking at the thing, they were all on the Commanders last week. They were all on the Cowboys. I'm like, oh, when I saw they were all on Commanders, I was
I
like,
picked
oh,
a lot. Yeah,
the
I
Bears. I was like,
think
go for
I think there's gonna be a lot of upsets this week. That's why I picked a
yeah,
lot. You saw that. For some reason I have a feeling.
yeah. So I'm looking forward to the game. Most of the weeks I'm like, well, you saw. I've been like, yeah, whatever. Dallas is playing. I don't really care. This is the game. These next four games are
Hmm.
very important for Dallas, but this is the game. This game. If I wasn't doing something this weekend, I got a lot of stuff going on, I would have tried to figure out a way to fly to this game. That's how big a game this is. This is the game. And even if they lose, it's got to be the way they look. They got to
Yeah.
lose because somehow, I don't know, McCaffrey went off and he did like something spectacular, not Dak. So
Yeah.
anyway, all right, so that is the games for week 5. All right, and
Yes.
we are on to our last segment of the day, which is TNT's Drop Knowledge. Who dropped some knowledge and who got, so what are you doing? All right, so um, I'll let you start on who, Thomas, do you thought dropped some knowledge this past week in sports?
I mean, there's several people, but I'm gonna go with Mike Vrabel, right? Just run the ball with Derrick Henry on the game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's they were doing too much with Tannehill passing the ball, trying to be shootouts like the Chargers, and just
Hmm.
I think he had a conversation. They're never gonna say with the offensive coordinator saying, "Why the hell am I not getting Derrick Henry the ball?" Derrick Henry had what do you have like 10 yards the week
Yeah.
before or something like that.
Yeah.
Like it was
Yeah.
ridiculous. So they went back to the old school, played defense, run the ball. Derrick Henry had 124 yards, a touchdown. It's not just about just how he ran the ball, just how they were playing on offense, being efficient.
Mhm.
So it's good to have adjustments, and then they put. And I get it. The Bengals. The Bengals look bad. I mean, they put an ass whooping on the Bengals.
Yes, they really did. It was bad. But no, I agree with you. I mean, hey, I like the Titans before the year. Again, they're ugly. You don't want to watch the Titans play, but yeah, Vrabel went back to being Vrabel. I'm like, the teams don't like playing that style. So
Yeah.
props to him. All right. Who dropped knowledge or, showed out? Joe Cronin. So people are like, who's Joe Cronin? He's not a football player. No, he's not. It's not football. This is the GM for the Portland Trailblazers. So last week we talked about Dame Lillard's trade and how great that was, and there basically was no winner or loser, right? Well, once we got off the air, they traded um, Drew Holiday and got some more assets. So let me explain to you guys what the trade has been for. So it is Drew Holiday and sorry, not Drew Holiday. It is Damian Lillard and Nurkic and Nazir Little and Keldon Johnson. I mean, and Keon Johnson. Sorry, not Keldon. Keon Johnson. That's who Portland got rid of. What did they get in return? They got DeAndre Ayton, who's number one pick in the draft. Malcolm Brogdon, sixth man of the year, right?
Hmm.
And they're all in the same age range. Robert Williams, who, if he gets to play enough, probably could be a defensive, player of the year candidate.
Right.
And Tumani Kamara, I have no idea who that person is. If you're watching this, sir, I don't know who you are, bro. But and then they got Golden State's 2024 first round pick. They got an unprotected 2029 Milwaukee pick, unprotected 2029 Boston pick, all first rounds, a pick swap with Milwaukee in 2028, another pick swap with Milwaukee 2030, all for Dame Lillard. That's what
Right.
that is incredible. Damian Lillard is not only he's a great player, but his contract is like it's almost untradeable because he's going to be 30, 8 years old, making like 70 million, almost $70 million
Right.
a year. To get all of those assets for him, this dude
It's
won,
crazy.
and it is crazy. I mean, much props to this guy, and he stood by his guns and was like, "Yo, yeah, not only you're not going to go to Miami." I'm gonna flip you and I'm gonna flip you again. And you know what? I don't think he's done. I think he's gonna trade Malcolm Brogdon and get more assets. So just much props to him, man. He dropped knowledge. I'm impressed. I think if I become a GM, I might have to be gangster like him. So good job, Joe Cronin. All right. And last but not least, the what are you doing? Okay,
Okay.
like what are you doing? And I'll go first real quick. So I know that, this is kind of tough because we were filming this and they already played a game. So the Bears won this week, but last week they lost to the Broncos 31-28. You got a struggling quarterback. He's playing the game of his life at that point. You drive down the field. You have an opportunity to kick a field goal when you're up. You're the defensive head coach. And what do? You go for it on fourth down? Why? Why would you do it? You're not winning the game. You're tied. Kick the
Right.
field goal. No, you don't kick the field goal. They don't get it. The Broncos go down to kick the field goal. And then your quarterback throws an interception. So instead of him feeling like he won the game because he actually did drive you down the field to get you to a winning position, he then feels like he lost the game when he really was the reason why you guys were even there in the first place. Like, what are you doing, Matt Eberflus? I was like, this guy needs to be fired immediately. Now, great. They won this game, and I'm happy for them because I actually do not want them to stink. But
Right.
that is type of stuff that if you start doing the end of the year evaluation, I'm like, you're an idiot. All right. You don't do those stupid things. I don't understand what's going on with these coaches. Of course, Brandon Staley would be on here again because he's always on here for being an idiot. He did it again this week. Play to win. And they think they're
Yep.
playing to win. I'm like, no, you're not. Be actually winning to play to win. So
Yeah.
anyway, that's my guy of the week.
So I was gonna do NFL, but I'm gonna switch to college football. What are you doing, LSU against Ole Miss? Brian Kelly, what
Wow.
are you doing in the fourth quarter? First off, the game was a Pac-12 game. The score was 55-49. But you're up 49-0 in the fourth quarter with 8 minutes. Okay, Ole Miss scores. Then you get the ball back. You punt, then you get the ball back, and then you get to the Ole Miss 48, and all of a sudden you don't know how to call plays. Delay a game penalty, punt it. Ole Miss comes back and scores a touchdown, and basically wins the game. They get the ball back, but you saw that they
Hmm.
got the ball back. Then all the way down to the 10-yard line, and they had like what, 5 penalties in a row, some shit like that. Did you see how many
Yeah.
penalties they for the
Yeah.
game, everything like that?
It's
Brian
terrible.
Kelly, what are you doing? You're at the 48-yard line. Run LSU is known for running the ball.
Right.
What the hell are you doing? Just run it down, not pass the ball with. I get Daniels as your quarterback, but
Right.
wow, I was watching that game. I was at the cigar lounge with the neighbors watching that game,
Yeah.
and you just couldn't take your eyes off of the game. We're like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah, it's
So Brian
that's
Kelly, you're an idiot. But go
that's terrible. He basically I was shocked to see that they lost the game too. I mean, he basically I mean, there's then their season's not done because technically that's their first SEC loss, but their season's kind of done, at least from
yeah,
a national championship perspective. But they're SEC, so they might give a two-loss SEC team a chance because that's what voters, what they do anyway, which is a bunch of BS. And we'll talk about that eventually.
right.
Um, but yeah, like what are you doing, man? Like give your chance. You gotta get this win.
Run the ball. Yeah,
Yeah,
two
like
2 minutes. It was 3 minutes 47 seconds.
yeah,
Run it, and it
yeah.
just was wild. There and it's no defense was being played. And
No,
LSU has probably not to divert, but
their
the
offense
probably
is.
their offense is good. Their defense got probably one of neighbors. What they have neighbors, but oh my god, I forgot to do the linebacker name. But anyways, he's a sophomore, true
Mm.
sophomore. He's going to be a top 10 pick next year. The dude is a stud, and he looked lost in the defense. And Brian Kelly is a defensive guy. You know that. Like
Mm.
that's what he's known for in Cincinnati, Notre Dame.
Mm.
But they got he about to get fired this year if they lose
Yeah.
another game like that.
Yeah,
So
well, they got a tough schedule too coming up. And they
oh
got this
yeah,
Missouri game, by the way. I know we're
yeah.
about to wrap up, but Missouri's 5-0. I don't think they should win, but that's another over, by the way, to think about
Yeah,
because clearly LSU doesn't know how to play defense.
absolutely.
Football. All right.
All
Well,
right.
it's been a good, great episode. Another good week. As always, subscribe, like, you can leave some comments for us. We enjoy doing this stuff for you guys, and we will see how this goes this week. Two big games
Sure.
for our teams, and by the way, for the NBA fans, preseason has started. It's already started in Abu Dhabi on
Okay.
Thursday, and there's a game tomorrow on Saturday.
Sure.
And yeah, the Lakers, Golden State is actually at 8 p.m. tomorrow, preseason. So get your NBA
Rockets.
fix on. And Rockets, that's right, Rockets going too.
Yep.
All right. Well, hey, have a good week, everyone, and we will see you next time.
All right. Take care, everybody. Have a good weekend.
All right, bye bye.